Hello again. This is a summary of the first month of the With Peace program, and that is intended to be a program of some length. It's likely to be 1, 2, and probably 3 years. And the program is about the unfoldment of the human soul and how personal responsibility is actually personal opportunity. In some ways, I consider the human being almost to be an embryo inside of a shell. And what we do is we are responsible for opening our own shell. In nature, if you look around, there is nothing pretty much that opens up the shell of a bird in a nest, even a reptile. They don't open the shells of their young. I think the same thing is true for the unfoldment of the human soul, is that we need to be involved in the experience of unfolding our own soul. So in many ways, the unfoldment for me is like these different colors. We have at least this many different innate attributes, along with our unique personality, our own body type, and so on. We have many different attributes that we can learn to unfold. And what we'd like to do is to go through a series of months identifying each one of these colors and feelings associated with 4 seasons. These 4 seasons that you see crossing over right here, by the way, turns out to be the equinox. And this is a process where nature, through its exposure of time and space, changing the world around us, is constantly presenting an opportunity for us to engage our own unfoldment. So the first month in the Northern Hemisphere was what we call the month of peace, or the month of 2-girl. The languaging we use, 2-girl, 4-girl, 6-girl, these are corresponding places in the family tree of which we provide a map explaining their position. So the 2-girl month is an opportunity for us to align that experience of feeling in nature that corresponds with the first month of autumn. It is the arrival of peace. Very soon, within a few days, we're going to be starting the second month of autumn. Now, in the Southern Hemisphere, the same place is actualized, but they're actually moving a different direction because they're moving into spring, summer, and then the beginning of autumn. So we meet at the equinox, and then we go different directions depending on the day length and the season, but we're involved in a group dynamic sharing with the Northern and Southern Hemisphere. Yeah, I know that sounds like a lot, but it is also a measurable amount of an opportunity to appreciate what's happening on the opposite side of the world at the same time that we're experiencing something in the autumn, they're experiencing something in the spring. And the feeling of how the world is coupled together in a circling unity. Now, part of this is the presentation of the opportunity to feel each individual increment. Now, the underlying principle of this is that each day we are engaged in returning to a central point at sunset that reminds us of what we go through in the evening, leading to midnight and eventually to sunrise. We go through a sequence of feelings. All day long, we pass through all of these different points. Later on, you find out that these individual points are glands, organs, body systems, vibrations, obviously colors, sounds, and many, many other things. But our willingness to identify, feel, and in some ways link with it is our sincere desire to want to be in harmony with the designer of creation. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. The inner world, essentially the spirit world, the divine presence, is reflecting into the material world the opportunity to begin to appreciate how these cycles and seasons and rhythms and timing, they can be extended into our senses and between our senses and beyond by the personal alignment, hour after hour, feeling after feeling, month after month. There comes a threshold somewhere around 3 months where the thing that you've been practicing is now sustained for you. Call it a bit of a habit if you want. Call it a bit of a development, a choice, something where you align your free will for the purpose of developing a sense of the presence of space and time. So the feeling of summer is actually a feeling of a chakra system or gland or an organ inside you. The feeling of winter is another location inside you. For me, it's all associated with a single location. Let me give you another graphic to show you this single location right here of the equinox where the red and the blue meet. This is a single location inside the human body. Let me show you another graphic. Scientifically, this is called a laminin molecule. This is the molecule that holds all cellular phenomenon together. It creates cellular migration. It defines the edges of an organ. It does many different things. It holds yourself or your body, your skin, your organs together. One single type of molecule. Now, this is a graphic representation of something that is actually shaped like this and has these varying different points on it, and it has this unique capacity to meet in this point. Now, to me, this point right here has to do with a place at the bottom, slightly back of the heart. And I'm saying that you can experiment with this feeling by even using this graphic and putting it in that location. I'm saying that the crossover point of the equinox or the crossover point of sunrise and sunset actually cross at this point. There's a vertical function and a horizontal function. These are all the elements of physics: electromagnetic, gravity, force, cohesion, expansion, entropy, and so on. This is a very significant place. For me, it's right at the bottom of the heart. Now, that doesn't mean it's always related to the physical heart, even though the physical heart is probably located in this location just at the point of the pericardium, for those who are curious about that. But this is also a point within one's own existence or one's own soul. So to me, the human being is like a flower with many different petals that we can choose intentionally to unfold these petals. Much like the egg being born, we can choose to increase our appreciation of the essential attributes of one's own existence that is universal to every other soul. Sometimes we call them soul attributes. Now, we also have individual soul attributes that no other soul has. So part of what we do is we learn how to unfold the petals of our own soul, and underneath it, we'll also find that there are unique attributes that when everybody unfolds their own unique attribute, it is capable of being utilized and realized by everyone else within that field. Meaning ultimately, we share our experiences and our feelings while being a discrete individual within a group. The size of that group will gradually keep expanding. It may start with a sense of self, moves into the clarification of what family is, mother and father, family tree, genetic or otherwise, until eventually it moves into community and country, race, culture, creed, until eventually it includes all human souls that have ever incarnated on the planet. This is the program that we're offering. The good thing about it is it just takes a little time to experiment with. So I'm suggesting that you just take a little time and you do some simple things. Start with the presence of a possibility or an opportunity to make a choice. First, consider the possibility that 100% of all that is around you, all that comes to you, is in some way mysteriously connected to something inside you. So no matter what the social physical presentation is around you, your law of attraction, it's somehow associated to a specific feeling, location, memory inside you. Yes, it could be something connected to your family tree, ancestral epigenetic genome. It might have a process of arriving planetarily like COVID has. There are things that arrive to the entire group of Earth, and there are those that arrive to small units, but 100% of no matter how small it is or how large it is linked to a specific location inside you where my finger is guiding you. So consider that 100% of all the feelings that I will ever have from the past or create for the future have to do with the exercise of your own desire to want to feel, and in that feeling, the sincere desire to want to grow, whatever you call that growing to be. We're offering an experiment to link into this experience by being able to identify to each month. So we'll give you some suggestions each month about what that is. And you can come and ask questions. Now, part of this is it's all about how much you want to know. So in this month, of the first month of this, I've not been very active about trying to encourage you to do what's being offered. Just to give you the space to choose to want to come forward and participate or not. I've been at different forms of experiments for many, many years, many decades. This is another experiment. There will be more to come. If you want to participate in this latest opportunity to experience more about your own soul as an individual, and then eventually as a group of people supporting each other, this is a good place to start. So next month, in a matter of days, we go into what we call the 4. All that means is we go into a specific part of our chakra systems. We go into the 4. So in the southern hemisphere, we go into what we call the outbound experiences of the heart, and that's the blood pouring forth. That's also the vibrant nature of spring, and sometimes it is involved in the romantic experiences of spring. It has to do with friendship. It has to do with many treasured, beautiful experiences, happiness, joy, laughter, celebration. That's the 4 in the southern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, the 4 is on the opposite side, and that's called the 4 girl experience. And that's about the ability to be able to change, to receive the blood back to the heart. That's the ability to be able to have gratitude, to go into something we call metamorphosis that also corresponds to the experience of going to sleep at night, passing through the void of the dark, leaving your body and going into the spirit world. So the 4-girl month and the 4-boy month is primarily associated with now until the 21st of the next month. That's the 4. Now, because of that composite being really more of a social phenomenon month, I'll be engaged in offering more exercises, maybe writing a bit more. And so if you have questions about how this works, it's up to you to ask. I can't just throw it at you and have you just leave it. You have to be able to ask. So thank you for the opportunity to be present, to give you the opportunity to grow and to feel, because every time I get an opportunity to express myself with you and the opportunity to become a little closer with who you are and we are, that we all share this together. We are all brothers and sisters of the same earth. So if we can learn to be able to do that by whatever modality, everything is going to get better continuously. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.